and appreciate the opportunity to take up these important bills. We've heard them before. We had a hearing back in May, and I think we both learned that this is an effort that we all want to continue, which is to preserve and revitalize Native American languages, given how critical they are to sustaining Native culture and philosophy. I've mentioned at that hearing of the issues that we face in Alaska. Of the more than 20 Alaska Native languages, only one can be considered stable. 2 of them are no longer spoken, and over half of them have fewer than 20 remaining speakers. So these bills that we're taking up today are very important in addressing this issue, so I appreciate colleagues' support. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the ways that our indigenous peoples, though, are using language and culture to continue making extraordinary contributions to our nation. And one recent example from last week is the recently issued Raven Story Forever stamp. Last Friday, the U.S. Postal Service issued the first stamp designed by a Tlingit artist at a ceremony featured dancers telling a version of the Raven story. I was planning on attending it, but we were working on infrastructure, so I didn't make it to Juneau. But it was interesting because during the welcome, Lance Twitchell explained that the Tlingit language doesn't have a word for the word stamp. So the description that he offered was a phrase in Tlingit, the paper around the paper, sticky paper. So you literally are coming up with the word. The stamp is designed by Rico Worrell, and Rico, great young man, he is Tlingit and Athabascan, and it depicts, got to get it right side right. It depicts one of the significant figures of the Northwest and the Coast indigenous people. It's sharing the story of the raven and how he set free the sun, the moon, and the stars. So it's just a great reminder of, again, the power of culture today across the nation. So to be able to lead and co-lead with you, Mr. Chairman, the Durban Feeling Native American Languages Act is very, very important. We heard at the hearing back in May testimony from several witnesses in support of this. Ms. Yayak Bernadette Alvana Stempfel, who serves as the chair of the Alaska Native Language Preservation and Advisory Council. Mr. Chairman, I'm pleased to be able to join you in supporting the bill that you have introduced, the Native American Language Resource Center Act, establishing a language resource and training center. I think our offices have worked close together on the amendment that you'll be offering. I think this is yet another good example of the bipartisan way that this committee works to ensure that clear congressional intent is articulated to the Department of Education. So I'm looking forward, again, to working with you to get both of these bills enacted into law.